Good evening, boys and girls, and welcome to yet another fun-filled video. Today I'm being a pirate. Bam bam bam. What I'm going to do is it's difficult to see. I'm going to load a cassette tap file from my tap player into my pirate copying device, which will then send the code all the way down to this cassette tape of booty. But I'm going to record commando, press play on here, press play and record at the same time on there, and we should have commando on there. Let's see what happens. I've not tried this yet. Fingers crossed. Hello everybody. So we're going to be doing a little video now where I shall be copying a tap file, commando in this instance, from my tap player that I built some years ago. It's an Arduino tape player, basically, instead of actually using real life cassettes. Nobody likes cassettes. But anyway, I'm going to be recording from the tap into my two-way splitter, which I bought on eBay. A pirate device. I never had one back in the day, but it's a tape copying device. I used to use the Amstrad twin tape deck. Can't speak. Twin tape deck. I'm trying to think of the model number, but I can't. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So we'll be pressing play on the tap player, and we should be playing record and play on the Commodore cassette player. So got some funky graphics there going on. What the hell is it doing? I think my power pack's perhaps not the best on the 64, so I'll just power off and back on again and see what happens. Well, we still have a question mark there, and the question mark is no exclamation mark, that is. Come on, a bit of professionalism. Alright, recorded files, 64. Let's find bomb jack, cauldron, commando. Oh, it's going crazy. I wonder why that is. Going crazy, crazy computer. Let's power it off for a minute. It's probably the power. Let me just try it with one device plugged in, or no device. Yes, it does. So this tells me we're using a little bit too much juice. But have we got power? We've got crazy power. Press play on tape. Okay, I will. Every time I power off, the tap player loses its particular file. Well, actually I've selected Solo Flight, which was probably the first, was it the first flight simulator I ever played? It may well have been. And Solo Flight, I'm not sure whether this is working, to be honest, but Solo Flight was a Cessna. You were piloting a Cessna, and you had to fly from airport to airport over some particularly rocky place, I think. It had weather. Well, it had information telling you there was weather. You had no actual display of weather, as I recall. But it had things like wind and I think, did you have a ceiling level? I don't remember now. Basically, it's just a few pixels on the screen with a horizon, and you flew this Cessna about. You had to land from airports, but you had to do things like control the fuel level and the load of mailbags, and depart from a particular airport, controlling your flaps and your power and your brakes and all that sort of thing, and fly to another airport where you would land. drop the mail off and continue on your merry way. I do remember loading the aircraft up and taking off to go somewhere, to another airport. There was a map as well, I think pressed M and a little square map came up. But I don't ever remember landing in the correct airport, or any airport for that matter. I must have done. I remember crashing quite a lot. The plane crashed at a sort of funny angle, the wing tipped up, if I'm thinking of the correct game. Oh, this is a slow loader. Oh my god. Well, while this carries on, I've not done a video for a couple of days because I've been doing a few things. I've stripped my laptop to upgrade the CPU because I'm fed up with the fan whizzing its nuts off because it's under too much load. But that didn't work. But I'll go back to that. And then I've decided to set up my quick data drive, an 8500 by phone pack, I don't know, it's a QDD, quick data drive, an 8500. Basically it's a tape drive like the Sinclair Spectrum had, a little bit like a micro drive type device. And you plugged in a little cartridge in the front of this cassette player and it played a fast loading cassette. But the cassettes were like cartridges, little cartridges. So I have used it before in the past, a year or 3 ago. But I plugged it in last night. I thought I'll try that and do a few videos of it because you don't seem to see much about them. Anyway, the tape snapped and it unwound in the mechanism. So yeah. In a fury, I threw that away. Okay, we can't load Solo Flight. In fact, I'd be surprised if we can load anything because this really has got the arse on. Let's turn this off and try one more before I call it a day. It's going crazy. Perhaps it's the 64 that's too hot. I have left this running as I've been watching. Be perfect now. That's good, no screen. Well, this is a complete dead loss, isn't it? Not much. Oh, hello. There be life, there be. Okay. I think what it is, in truth, from the old girl. No, that's booted up fine. I'll rewind the cassette because that failed in a dramatic fashion. And we'll try something else before we all get too bored. Let's try it. What's a short game to load? Spy Hunter. Spy Hunter's a quick loader. Goes like stink. Just rewinded the cassette, Booty, which is a dreadful game. Have you played Booty? Oh, awful. Very simplistic. But it's an old game, so, you know. That's a bought Spy. I had to press load Spy Hunter on the tap to make the cassette drive motor work on the cassette thing. So I'll reset the counter, play and record, and we'll say play. It's at 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5, 6, 7. I think it usually comes up with the name of the game about 10%, which is 13% in this case. I'll press spacebar, and we are loading. 17%. This is a very quick loader. An overload. This 64 I wired up for composite out. There's a few dodgy. I don't know. US Gold, all American software. What was I saying? Oh yeah, this is a 64 I've wired up for the composite out, purely for the sake of capturing video. I do like composite out on the old computers, to be honest. RGB is a little bit too sharp. It's just too abrupt. These old computers, they never had a super sharp image. On a CRT, the pixels are sort of a little bit blurred anyway. As soon as you plug it into a monitor with RGB, you get a crisp, sharp image, and it doesn't do the machine any favours really. But we're at 70% now. This is Spy Hunter. I have a story to tell you about Spy Hunter. When I had my Sinclair Spectrum, I was in an art class at school, high school, and I distinctly remember sitting with my friend in art school, bored I imagine, and I said to him, "Have you got Spy Hunter on the 64? And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, does it play music?" He says, "Yeah, it plays music when it's loading and in the game as well. All the time you're playing the game, it's playing music." I thought, oh, that's fantastic. My bloody thing doesn't play music at all. Well, it's loaded Spy Hunter, but it's a complete shambled mess of shambleness. It's a complete waste of time, this video. I don't know why I bother. That is how the logo works for Spy Hunter, actually. Oh, it's working, it's just a scrambled mess. If I didn't know better, I'd say the graphics were on the blink. Is it rewound? It has rewound. I'm going to try one more game. It is working, but the graphics are a mess. I definitely want this to load properly. Okay, play mode. Select C64, yes. Pit stop 2. The Goonies. Yeah, Kung Fu, that would be a quick game. %, 4%, 5%. Oh, it's not as quick as Spy Hunter. Yeah, Kung Fu's come on at 5%. Okay. I said to him, "Have you got Spy Hunter?" "Yes," he said, "and it plays music as you're playing the game." Well, I was most disappointed because my Sinclair Spectrum did not play music, nor did it have particularly good sound effects. The game itself played pretty good. Well, it played well, actually. Yeah, Kung Fu. I don't remember how Yeah Kung Fu loads. No memory of it at all. But anyway, as the tap player is playing, it's going through my little Y device here and sending the data straight to the C2N, the cassette drive. So that should be recording an exact copy of whatever the top tap is giving out. So I can now convert my tap files directly to cassette. I have absolutely no reason or any idea why I'd want to do that, but I can. So there we go. So if you want any files backing up from tap, I can put them on cassette for you. So you can have them from a digital media that could probably be stored forever onto a highly volatile media of cassette that you can no longer buy. So that's obviously a result. Yeah, so that was another nail in the coffin of the Sinclair Spectrum when I was at school. I don't know what year Spy Hunter was. But another thing that did it was I went to my friend's house in the summer. Not sure of the year, but it was a nice hot summer, and it was the August holidays when school was closed for 6 weeks in those days. I presume they still are. And we were sharing in games and copying games, and we had Sinclair Spectrums. And he was copying loads of mine, I was copying some of his. And we were chatting away, and he played something, don't know what it was. He was making old sound effects, noises, and I says, "What are you doing?" He says, "Oh, I'm making music and things and noises." I said, "Why are you doing that?" He said, "Well, the Sinclair Spectrum's not very good at making noises, so I'll make my own. And then it's just like a Commodore 64. I thought, that's it for me. Time I got a Commodore 64. I was sick to death of the Sinclair Spectrum. And another nail in the coffin was one of my brothers is a musician. And I remember loading up Star Wars on the Spectrum. and at the menu screen it played the Star Wars theme, or a rendition of Star Wars anyway. And it was the bleepy noisy mess that the bleepy makes, and it was quite ear piercing, as I remember. Oh, I can't do Kung Fu because the tape's run out. Well, this is a complete waste of time. Bloody computers. Well, I'll see if it loads because I'm interested. And he said to me, for God's sake, will you turn that bloody noise off? And I was slightly, crestfallen. I thought, it's not that bad, is it? And then sometime later, I convinced Mum that I desperately needed a C64. Although she could see no difference between a C64, a Spectrum, or a anything else that plugged into the TV. Bless her. But I got a Commodore 64, and I loaded up a few games on cassette. The guy showed me how to do it. Press shift and run stop and it'll load. Okay. And I was blown away by the music of the Commodore 64. It made an impression on me then, and it still makes an impression now. Even though, as I'm older, I can hear that the filtration is not so good, and it's a little bit crackly and not quite as clear as it should be. It's distorted. But the fondness of the C64 SID chip covers all those cracks. So to me it sounds like an orchestra. Well, mostly. Sometimes I still want to smash a 64 with a hammer when you hear some of the noisy mess that comes out of it. I think this is still loading. The cassette tape's clicked off, by the way. Obviously Boot is a very short game and this is a very long game. Well, according to my tape machine, it's loaded. Don't look like it's loaded, if I'm totally honest. It looks like a complete failure to me. I'm going to rewind the cassette. Alright, they're going to go up to 60. It's a very short game. So I'll load something then that is very short. What have I got that's very short? Turrican, that won't be short. Cresta, that might be short, because it's just a shooter game. So we'll have Cresta, I think. Play, yes. Recorded, no. C64, yes. I have a few directories on this machine, so I've got to flick through them. Cresta, this will be a very short game. Record, play, play. Yeah, it don't seem very quick, to be perfectly honest. The names come up at 5% again, just like Kung Fu did. No, that's not going to do it. But we'll see if it loads. If it doesn't, then clearly it's a complete dead loss. What time is it? It's 11 PM on Thursday. It is bedtime, I feel. Well, we've got lots of blank screens going on. A complete blankness. A blankety blank. Well, I think this is another dead loss. Stop the tape and rewind. I could edit this video down to about 3 minutes so far. There must be something that loads quickly. I've got some demos here. Amiga Ball, that'll do. Just record something, for the love of God. Record. Press play on tape. Okay, pressing. Oh, this is a very fast loading. This is good. Something might work, kids. I suspect if I had my trusty WH Smith's cassette tape, I could record all these. This is loading like stink. 35%, 37, 41, 40. God, it's zooming on. 55, 60, 70. 80%, 90, complete. Is it? To be perfectly honest, it doesn't look like it's complete. Well, so far from my ventures, I can see that absolutely nothing loads. I shall try one more, and then that is it. Let's go back to demos again. Pacer, Amiga Ball. Why have I got it on twice? Oh no, it's the same one. Pacer, I don't know what Pacer is. Play and record, play. It's another fast loader, which is good. Pacer, so it's found something. Not sure what that flick of the screen means. Probably means it's not working. Come on, 64. Use the force. 90%. Complete. Nothing. Well, I'm going to disconnect. Disconnected the Y connector, and let's see if it will actually load. Something without the Y connector being in. Perhaps it's the Y connector that's causing the problem. Perhaps my days of being a pirate have ended before they've even begun. And I was going to flood the local car boot with cassette tapes of the 64. Going to list them with little labels and everything. This is the last go. If this don't work, that's it, I've had it. I've had it, I tell you. Up to here. In fact, even higher. 90%, 95, 96. Complete. Alright, okay, so it's not the Y connector's fault. It's just naturally got the ump on. Oh, very strange. C64. Let's load. What was the quick one? Spy Hunter. Let's just load Spy Hunter. Because it could be the 64 that's playing up. Could be the PLA. Could be the RAM. Could be anything. Spy Hunter. Come on, Spy Hunter. Now before, when it came out the US Go, they had a little, it don't seem to be there, had a little question mark on the overload screen on the bottom left, I noticed. It's not there now, which could be a symptom of a RAM error. Or it could just be an old bloody knackered power pack. I've got 3 or 4 Commodore power packs. And the one I'm using now is a little wedge-shaped thing, which I don't use very often, I must admit. But it just happened to be in front of me, so I've plugged it in. Now this was a garbled mess when it loaded it before. I suspect it could be again. And I've just reset my iPhone, because I've been using the beta software. Or beta if you're American, and it's been giving me no end of grief, so I thought, right, I've had enough. I should reset the firmware back a revision or version, and now it comes on and it won't let me log in, so my iTunes password is incorrect, even though I'm already logged in on my computer, but it won't let me. Well, such is life. 90% we're at with Spy Hunter. 92. 5 blocks to go. Never knew what a block was. Block's done. 99% loaded. Oh, it's still a garbled mess. So obviously it's the C64 that's playing up. Clearly it's a pain in the arse. I need to find my diagnostic card and plug it in. But I've probably got 5 Commodore 64s. So I'm not... my phone's messaging me and I can't get into it, and it's particularly irritating. Yeah, I've got a few 64s. So I shall put this to one side. And have another go tomorrow, boys and girls. It's not a very exciting episode, I do apologise. But hell, that's life and that's the way it goes. Incorrect Apple ID. Oh, shut up, you tart. Right, so that'll do. I'm not sure if I'm going to upload this or not. Shall I upload it? Yeah, why not? What the hell. Okay. Good night, boys and girls. Sleep well.